Starlink's standard home dish runs about $350. Before you spend it, one question decides whether that money ends up buying great internet or an expensive mistake. Will it actually work at your house? Most people worry about the wrong thing. They blame the weather. The real make or break is something much closer to home. It's whether your dish can see the sky. And the thing that quietly ruins that? It's trees. Not storms, trees. But there's a free 2-minute check that tells you the answer before you pay a cent. So let's put it side by side. What you're worried about against what actually decides whether this works at your house. Start with the row that decides everything. Your view of the sky. Your dish spends every second tracking satellites as they race overhead. Block that view even a little, and the connection starts to stutter. And the most common thing blocking it, by far, is trees. Not a thick wall of forest, just a few branches sitting in the wrong part of the sky. That's where most people get fooled. They look up, see mostly open sky with a branch or two off to the side, and figure that's fine. It often isn't. Here's why they're so deceptive. They don't block you all the time, so the problem comes and goes and you never quite catch it in the act. On a still day with bare branches, your dish might be fine. Then the wind picks up, the branches sway into the signal path, and your video call freezes for a second. Then summer arrives. Those bare branches fill with leaves again, and a spot that worked all winter starts dropping. Then it rains. Those wet leaves absorb even more of the signal. Suddenly, the worst dropouts happen during the exact weather everyone blames. That's the trap. The dish stutters during a storm, so you blame the storm, but a dish in a real clearing barely notices that same storm. A dish tucked under a couple of branches will fight you all year. The weather just gets blamed for it. So the first line of the checklist isn't rain. It isn't snow. It's one question. Does the exact spot you're picturing have a clear, open view of the sky? Get that right, and you've won most of the fight before the box even ships. Which leaves the one question you probably came here with. If it's really the trees, then does rain and snow do anything at all? They do. But the answer isn't what most people expect. It's the opposite of what you've been scared into believing. So here's the reversal. The thing you came in worried about, rain and snow, is the part you can mostly stop worrying about. Does Starlink work in the rain? Yes. In independent testing, it stayed connected more than 98.5% of the time through a rainstorm. Put that in real terms. Across an hour of heavy rain, you might lose less than a minute of service. Not one long outage. Just a few 1-second blips that most people would barely notice. Clouds are even less of an issue. A gray, overcast day behaves almost exactly like a clear one. You'd never know from your connection. What a heavy storm actually does is trim your speed for a while. In the hardest rain, that can be a drop of closer to 40%. But slower is not the same as offline. It keeps working, then hands your full speed back the moment the rain eases. And snow? The dish has a built-in heater that melts it off as it lands. Now here's the honest catch, and it ties straight back to the trees. If your connection tanks the second it clouds over, the weather usually isn't the real culprit. A branch or a roof line clipping the edge of the dish is. The storm didn't create the problem, it just exposed it. Weather gets blamed for a problem a clear view of the sky would have fixed all along, so the sky isn't the enemy you thought. Trees you can spot, weather you can shrug off, but here's what almost nobody plans for. You can do everything right up there, a perfect view of the sky, and still get knocked offline by two things down here on the ground. One's a rookie mistake, the other you won't see coming until the lights go out. Let's start with the rookie mistake almost everyone makes on day one. It has nothing to do with the sky. It's the mount. Get this part right, and a serious storm barely registers. Bolt the dish to a roof, a wall, or a pole, and it's built to ride out serious storm force winds without flinching. That's a genuine storm, and it just shrugs it off. But most people don't start that way. They drop the dish onto the little kickstand it ships with, set it on the patio, and never think about it again. That kickstand was built for a quick setup, not a windy night. Sitting loose, it doesn't take a real storm to move it. One strong gust is all it takes. The dish twists a few degrees and suddenly the satellite isn't where the dish expected it to be. Every tiny shift becomes another dropout. If it moves on a calm day, it'll move in a storm. A dish that isn't fixed down isn't finished. The second one catches almost everyone by surprise because it has nothing to do with Starlink at all. Your dish runs on electricity. It plugs into your wall and pulls real power to stay online. So the moment your power goes out, your dish goes dark with it. Think about what that means. The same storm that knocks out your grid takes your internet down at the exact moment you need it most when you're trying to check if it's just you, call someone, or pull up a map. Unless you've got a battery or generator behind it, no power means no dish. So now you've got the whole picture. A clear view of the sky, weather you can ignore, a solid mount, backup power for when the grid fails. Which leaves one question. Before you commit to that dish, whether you buy it outright or rent it monthly, how do you know your house actually passes every one of these tests? Turns out Starlink gives you a way to check all of it for free in about 2 minutes before you spend a single dollar. So here's how you actually run it, and all it takes is the phone already in your pocket. Before you buy a single piece of hardware, download the Starlink app. It's free, and you don't even need to own a dish to use it. Open the obstruction checker, stand exactly where the dish would go, lift your phone to the same height, and sweep it slowly across the sky. As you do, the app maps the whole patch of sky your dish would see. Then it tells you in plain terms how much any tree, roofline, or pole in the way would cost you. Here's the trick that saves people from picking the wrong spot. Don't test one location, test several. The peak of the roof, the top of a pole in the yard, the far back corner. Each spot gets its own score, and the difference can be night and day. The spot that looks worst from the ground might turn out to be the only clear window your dish has to the sky. You're not guessing anymore. You're reading the actual sky. And while you're in there, do one more thing. Check the price and the speed for your exact address. If you're eyeing the cheaper Mini instead, the same sky rules apply, but it's a smaller, portable dish built for travel. Not the home setup we're checking here. That one gets its own video. Both shift from one location to the next, so the number a neighbor 2 towns over pays might be nothing like yours. 30 seconds, and you know your real cost, not a guess. That's the difference. 2 minutes in your own yard tells you more than hours of YouTube reviews ever will. Because nobody, not a reviewer, not a salesman, not even Starlink can tell you whether it'll work at your house. Only your house can. And if this just saved you from bolting a pricey dish under the wrong tree, tap that like button for me. It helps these honest checks reach more folks before they buy. So let's lock in the checklist from top to bottom. Then there's just one last number you need before you decide. It's the one that can completely change whether Starlink is worth buying, and it changes more often than most people realize. So here's the checklist we just built. Everything that decides whether Starlink actually works at your house in 3 simple lines. 1. A clear view of the sky matters more than the weather ever will. 2. Rain and snow might slow Starlink down, but they rarely stop it. 3. Mount it properly. Plan for backup power and run the free obstruction check before you spend $1. Do those, and you'll know whether Starlink works at your house before the box ever lands on your porch. And notice what's missing from that checklist. Me telling you to buy it or telling you to skip it. That was never the job, because nobody can make that decision for your address except you. And now you've got the app that lets you answer it yourself. So here's my real question for you. When this video's over, step outside and look up. Is it nothing but open sky, or do branches keep finding their way into the picture? Let me know in the comments, clear sky or blocked. Because once you know it'll work, there's only one question left. What does it actually cost you? And that number is slippery. Starlink has changed its prices and even the rules around its plans more than once this year, which means the number you saw a few months ago might already be wrong. So in the next video, I'll show you what you'll really pay month 1 and every month after. So subscribe before you go and you won't miss it. Every week, one more honest breakdown like this one, plain English, no hype.